Hey, everybody, and welcome to this special Friday edition of From Boxes to Butterflies. It's a time for us to get together, and there's gonna be conversations around storytelling, special guests. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and in many ways, I don't know who all's going to show up because I dropped a link for a bunch of people and we'll see what happens. But hey, that's how we go, right? I want to start off with a couple of announcements, some of the things that I think everybody's kind of used to seeing, but it's still important to put this stuff out there. Number one is the importance of being there for family, being there for our friends. And one thing that's happened is supporting our sister Danielle. Uh, she's had something happen within her family, something happened to her husband, and I don't go into the details. What I'm here for is the support. There's a way to provide meals and food that is what this QR code is for. Something's been set up to help because they're in a financial situation. It was a medical emergency that happened with her husband. And I mean, think about it. What's it like when you've got two breadwinners and suddenly you're down to one? So being there for support. And in this case, it can be financial, which is what the QR code is. It can be just support, be able to just contact her and say, hey, how you doing? What's up? Can I help? This is what it means for everybody to be together and come together as a family. Then my dear sister CJ has set it up, and I've now been in a number of online journals. And CJ, she's the queen of publicity. If you want to have your story told beyond LinkedIn in different journals, she's got access to a number of journals at, quite frankly, a very reduced price. Because most of these journals, they don't just take your story and run with it. They kind of want you to pay to play. Well, that's fine. But then if you can get a deal, that's where CJ comes in. And it's like, I'm thrilled to be able to say I've been in these magazines. Another one came up yesterday, which was Mentors. So it's a way to get your message. And for me, it's like my message is Move Beyond Boxes and Shine has gone around the globe just because of these articles. And then I want to talk about a couple of books that I have. There's my Armor of God series, which is on Amazon. And that, when I talk about Move Beyond Boxes and Shine, that is exactly what I'm talking about. That story, these two books encompass one story of the main character's struggles of being told who and what he is, being boxed all his life, and then having to go on a quest under his younger brother instead of leading it, and really finding himself, finding his own box that he's stuck in, and then move beyond it and be his authentic self. And then Faith of the Butterfly is my own, I call it my reinvention journey. It covers a 2-year period. And it's a recent one. It was published by Urano Publishing, came out the beginning of January. And it, again, really is that Move Beyond Boxes and Shine focus. So with that, I really don't want to waste much more time, and I'm going to bring up my dear sister. Hey ho!
I'm a fish face. Excuse if my dog is snoring. Cheerio is always snoring, always. So yes, I'm pinkified today.
But well, we got to have our pink. It's like
Yes,
there's always pink someplace, or for me, I guess it's red or pink. Close enough.
yeah. Well, how are you today?
I'm doing well, and we're starting to get people. We got
Ooh.
2 backstage right now, and then everybody that's showing up on the stream. So this is going to be fun, and there's a few like here's one that's backstage.
Ooh. Well, okay, first of all, I just
Exactly.
wanted to say that the Thrivers team awesome is
And
awesome, right? Because we had a little poofa going on. Like I was so stressed. I was crying yesterday. And then I'm still crying inside today. And you guys have
bye.
been so gracious, right? There's just it's just the graciousness that you guys provide. It's really awesome. And I appreciate it. But let's bring in some people because I really want to get together and um, give them a space and ask them this question. What do you think? Like, what's the pro, not pro, but like, what's your feeling before, during, and after when you're in a project, especially this one? That's my question.
You want me to bring them all up at once?
Yes, because Crystal's got to go. Willie J's got to go. Everyone's got to go.
3,
There
4.
they are.
Hey, what's up?
Look at everybody that's here.
Hello, loves.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
And Ollie is traveling, so he couldn't make it, but he's listening in.
Aw,
So we're all here. And Jackie is what? Jackie is sipping off on her
somewhere
Yeah,
in
yeah,
vacation
she's
with your
somewhere like fun
I'm
that
jelly.
I would love to be. Yeah, I'm so jelly too.
I know. Let me ask the brother over there from another mister because he's driving and he's don't get into an accident. You better be on stoplight and the side of the road. Right? Like
Yeah,
hold up.
I am.
Um,
I'm in between going to meetings and stuff. Yeah, but I pulled over for this. So
in the
okay,
center
good.
square.
Yeah. So, bro, talk to me. I mean, we've been in a lot of books together, but what is the difference between this book and other anthology in terms of like the before, during, and after?
Wow, that's a good question, man. First of all, thank you for having me and to be a part of this great legacy of Beyond Boundaries, Thriving in Life's Gray Zone. I just thought that it was something that I could relate to. This is my fourth anthology. We was a part, me and you and Suzanne. I think we first met on Rattle the Wake 1, which ended up being a #1 international bestseller. And I met you guys for the first time, and I think I might have met you a little before through Lonnie or whatever. And this was about your speakers summit, which turned out to be a great experience. And Route of the Wake 2, I was a part of, and then a Note to Family, we came back together again, me, you, and Suzanne, and Dr. New, and a whole lot of other amazing leaders, man. And I'm just excited about this one in particularly because that's been the nucleus and kind of like my theme song. We've always been about thriving over just merely surviving. I think that was one of my chapters in Router Wake 2 was surviving to thrive, not just surviving. And then when I saw Beyond Boundaries, that is just up my alley. That is really the feud to us winning. You know what I mean? And I'm that guy that's always talking about never stop winning and taking the URE off of the way and then growing with the flow. And we're growing with the flow right now, right, sis? My sis from another mo, right?
That's
The book is going to do amazing things, okay? It's going to be paramount. It's going to be unprecedented. It's going to be life changing. And when I wrote about this, my chapter, without giving it up, is simply about thinking like a winner. And when you think like a winner and using your mind power, your brain power, which is where your willpower comes from, between your subconscious mind. So it allowed me to dive deeper into that aspect of mind, the value of the mind. So I'm excited
Yeah,
about
and we work well together actually. So I like it. We're like, I'm gonna go with you, sis. I'm like, let's go, bro. Like, like
it. Yeah,
just going with
yeah,
it. It's exciting,
yeah,
right? It's exciting. And you're right.
yeah.
This
It
anthology
is.
will be different than most of our anthologies because the goal, and I'm
Yeah,
manifesting it with my dear sister holding my hand tight right now. The goal is for
yeah.
us to have, even if it's an anthology, for us to have book signing at Barnes and Nobles. Like no
Awesome.
anthology, you can do that. So I'm
No.
trying to go with the flow and manifesting
Yeah,
it. Even though I'm
that's
so
right.
stressed out, I'm like, Steven, can you tell I'm stressed out right now? And he's like, no, you're fine. I'm like, woosah. Yeah, I got my
That's
pink
right.
hair today. I can't be that stressed.
Yeah, it's all gonna work out, man. Timing and alignment, right?
Yes. Well, thank you for
God's
your
timing
grace
is.
today.
Yeah, hey man, I wouldn't have missed it. I was like, I can't miss this. I had to make it my business. I got a gazillion meetings and other projects going on, of course, but this is a very important, essential project to me. Yeah.
Well,
So
it's always
thanks
great
again.
having you
All
on,
these
really.
great authors. Look at all these great legends like Crystal and all these. I don't want to get to names. All of you, man. It's just great. It's just great to be a part of this legacy right here. Think we're gonna do make history. I really believe that.
That's the plan.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna shut up and let all these other legends talk, and you know,
Have a nice day today. Happy Friday, bro.
happy Friday to you all, man. Be blessed. I wish I could stay longer. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of meetings and contracts involved. So much love, and let's keep growing with the flow. And I can't wait to the release of this book.
Me
Exactly.
too. Bye, bro. See
Peace and
ya.
love.
See ya. That was nice.
So who's gonna be next?
You're the host. You gotta decide.
Ah, question and answer time. So let's go with Crystal this time.
Thank you, because I do actually have my nephews here. They're napping, but got a bunch of stuff going on in the house, so I do appreciate that. Um, now, as for Dr. CJ's question, what the difference with this project for me than a lot of the other projects, like even like my personal ones, is the amount of just amazing support that I've gotten from everybody, from Stephen, Jenny, Dr. CJ, Susannah, just everybody. Like when I've reached out needing just that little bit of encouragement, or when I was stuck that one night, I was like, hey, CJ, can you talk for a few minutes? And, just got me over that little hump that I needed. Just the amazing support in this anthology has been so much different from any of the projects that I've done, whether they're personal or group or anything. And I didn't feel rushed. And as much as I enjoyed my Rattled Awake experience, and I did, it was amazing for me. It was my first published time being published anything. And I had a lot of support there too. But this for me was just really amazing. And I grew a lot within the group and just felt so supported all the time and made a lot of really good connections. You know, I mean, Jenny, we actually met through Facebook, ironically. We didn't even meet through this, but it just felt like I was brought closer to a lot more people, and I really appreciated it. And I'm just so excited. I've got a bunch of my YouTuber friends that have nothing to do with LinkedIn at all, don't use LinkedIn, period, that are all like, as soon as the book is published, give us the URL and we will promote it. We will get it sold in our group. It's like I'm reaching out to so many different demographics that are excited about this book just because I've talked about it to them personally. They're like, yeah, we'll get you promoted. We'll get it out there. Let's do this. you know? So I'm just the amazing support that I got. That was the difference for me. And well, Dr. CJ, you just don't say no when she says to you, hey, I want you to join us, and I want this is what I want your chapter on. It's like, yes, ma'am.
Well,
Not
that's
in a bad
what
way,
you
but
always
it's so
do.
true. You don't say no to CJ ever. It just doesn't happen.
No, you can say maybe, but even then, that's really a yes.
Exactly.
But that's the other thing too. I mean, if CJ's looked at you and says, you need to be here and this is what you're going to write, she sees that for a reason. She knows. And then what? You wrote it and it was the right thing.
Yeah. And I mean, you said that it was a great chapter, and I trust you because I absolutely adore your books. I really do. I've been like on board when from day one, if you remember, like I messaged, like I read the first chapter and I was like, oh my God, I couldn't put it down. So for you to tell me that it was an amazing chapter is a huge, huge thing to me, by the way. So thank you.
Well, and one of the things I'll say about a lot of the chapters, the chapters that I went through, there was such a huge difference for many of them from what I got in the first place to what came back after that last round of edits. And I'm going to point to somebody who had one of those chapters. Yes, that would be you, Jenny. Because your chapter, in many ways, it totally changed from what you submitted in the first place to what, after I gave you edits and comments, it's like, can you do this and that? And I don't know if you had more conversation with CJ or not, but then what came back was so much better.
Yeah.
And really it just blossomed.
Yeah, it was at first I jumped right in kind of at the very end. And so I knew the assignment, but I wasn't really clear on the assignment. Once I got clear on the assignment, it was okay. It's okay. I can do this. And of course, your wonderful suggestions and edits. And Steven actually came in when he very first came in, and he had read that rough draft and know that you're blessed because you're the only person that saw that other than CJ and Susannah. I want you to know, right? And but it was beautiful. And so between that and then understanding what it was that I needed to pull together, and I have so many stories and so much to say, it's always a challenge for me to pull it in that way. But with the support and everything, of course, you were able to, really do that. And I knew as soon as you said it, of course, that it was me, because that was my experience. It was raw. It was just really a dump the first time around. And so kudos to all of you, even for being able to read that rawness and then say, okay, how can we really pull this into something that's going to, work? And I think that's what's really beautiful about this team, is that we all have that ability to empathize. To be compassionate, right? It's not feedback. It's compassionate communication is how I, label it, because it is coming from a place of empathy and compassion and understanding that, man, this is, maybe some suggestions. This is something that, what if we tried to do this, right? Because we're better together. And that's the experience. And from the beginning to the middle to the end, that's the way it's been. And I know that the relationships that have been forged here during the creation of this are lifetime. We are lifetime collaborators. We're lifetime friends, sisters, brothers, supporters, and every single one of us will flourish together, and no one will be left behind.
No. And Susannah and I were talking about your chapter, the very first one. And we're like, okay, so how do we, because I read everyone's chapter, but we split edits, right? And then,
right.
and Susannah's like, well, how about this? I'm like, yeah, but about this. And then when you came into the Zoom, and you're like, it's not finished, I don't know if I want to share. I'm like, Jenny, bring it. Let's just talk about this, right? And when I brought it, I had to hold back not crying, because I'm a very sensitive person and emotional person, like literally, I have to be cognizant of my emotions because I don't think straight when I'm emotional.
I'm crying right now.
And
It's
I know,
fine.
and when I read your chapter, I was like, I didn't breathe for at least 6 seconds. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Like, I just keep doing that. And I think it's because I can put myself in that situation looking at a third party. Like when you're saying that, because I'm visual learners, I visualize
Mhm.
everything. And I'm like, I don't know if I can survive that. There's no way. So when I tell people, stop judging others because you don't know what they're going through. And even if you were in that same situation, because often we always tell people, oh, if I was in that situation, I would do this. Like we're so quick to say that. But in reality, if you're honest about it, it's not for you. It's not
Mm-mm.
meant for you to be in that journey. It's meant for somebody else, for them to take. Like, would, Jessica, I couldn't go through what she's going through. I probably would definitely die in the corner. Like I can't. Susanna's too, right? So you're on your own journey, but you don't have to do it alone. The fact that you guys are sharing your adversity and thriving in that moment of adversity, and today my heart is so full. Like when I had this concept last year, actually I had this concept since August of last year, and I was toying with different things, and Susanna can see, like, I was thinking culture, I was thinking this, and I'm like, no, just pick a story within your life that you went through adversity, but you learned something from it and you're thriving and you're helping others, right? To actually also be in that similar situation. It's never exact the same, to thrive and inspire to talk about their story and be vulnerable, because it's that shame. It's the fear of judgment, right? It's a fear of judgment. It's the shame of, like, your perception. You're thinking, I'm shameful because I'm talking about this. People are going to judge me and look at me differently. And at the end of the day, it's so amazing how people actually rally around you because of what you said. It's so amazing. Like, I'm gonna shut up now because I'm gonna start crying.
Well, and all of these stories are that way. There was so many of them that we just had to kind of stop, pull back a minute, and regroup to be able to keep going forward. And when I talk about how stories change, there were some that they were pretty much nailed and done. There were others that it was so different. And I wouldn't say yours changed the most, Jenny. There were a couple others that they changed even more than yours did. It was the whole gambit. But that's what I love about this group, and how everybody just is open to the feedback. And I like the team that we have, because we've got one person who is out there and like everybody sees her, and the other one is speaks when she's got something to say. But with that, I'm going to go to Steven, because you've been here since the very beginning. And how is it for you?
So, I'm a thinker, and I came from the field of engineering. I've always been highly sensitive. I've always, been in this space of, trying to understand why the world is the way that it is. And so moving into this space of mental wellness and helping people, and, taking those skills of problem solving for technical stuff and moving it over to helping people with their lives. I noticed something about stories, and that the first thing we do when we heal is we write, and journaling and putting down our thoughts. And I think with some of the people in the group, they went through the whole healing journey in one, because we first write about it, and then we can talk about it. And then after we talk about it, then we start teaching about it, right? We start helping others getting through this. And then we go full circle again, and we actually put it in a book format, right? This is something to teach others in a way that's a leave behind, that we can help more people than we can speak to. So for myself, it's this journey of realizing that story is one of the most powerful things that we can convey to help somebody else. And it's something that we bond over. It's something that, you think about it, the stories of sitting around like a campfire, or sharing in a village of things that went on. This is the way we pass culture along for, thousands and thousands of years. It's in our nature. And if we can bind over that story, right? And this is the basis of the story, is this life contains suffering. It does. I mean, no one in this world has not suffered. And there is no comparison to the level of suffering, because it doesn't matter what you've gone through, it's how deeply you feel it. What I love about what we're doing is we're talking about, yes, we went through suffering, but we, at some point we made a choice. And the choice could be just in a momentary instance to say, I'm going to escape, or I'm going to be free. I'm not going to be held captive. We all made a choice. And for myself, it was this choice of, I'm not going to let myself feel this way, because I noticed that I don't like the way that I'm feeling, and I want to be happy. I want to thrive. And when you make that choice, make that your intention, it changes everything. And then you start focusing on what makes you thrive and what makes you happy. You pick out the people that you can thrive around and be happy. You don't fight to pull those people into your life that drain you and make you small. So that's why we found each other, because everyone in this group has gone through something difficult, but they're the kind people that will elevate you. You are not the kind of people that will tear you down. And that's why everybody within the group feels so supported and so secure, because that is the tribe that we've created, and it exists. The more you are that your way, the more that you seek to be who you are authentically, the more that you'll attract other authentic people around you. So I am happy to be amongst your tribe.
Oh, it's an amazing group of people, and I love the diversity that's within the group. And when everybody is their authentic self, that's really what these stories do. Is it kind of allows each person, some will say vulnerable, but I look at it as it's a way to be our authentic selves, to let that part of us out that maybe somebody else was trying to contain, trying to stick in a box and take control. And it's time for that to stop. And with these kind of stories, that's something that we can do, is move beyond the boxes, move beyond borders and boundaries, and let ourselves go. So what I'm going to do now, because there's still one.
If it's okay, I want to add something small, and it's sharing that vulnerability. It's not coming from a place of weakness. It's coming from a place of absolute strength. And that strength is what other people gain from, because sometimes you get pulled back into that space of weakness, but it's just momentary. It's realizing that, you can be vulnerable because you've now healed and you're now strong. So that's all I wanted to share.
Oh, it's important to share. And the vulnerability is, I guess we do often think of that as being kind of a negative connotation, when the reality is it's time to flip the switch and see it for the strength that it is. So that brings us to the one who received homework yesterday. Because yes, Jess, you had homework given to you yesterday. But let's go to CJ's question. And while that's going on, I'm going to bring up somebody else. So you're up, Jess, and welcome, Dr. New. And yeah.
So sorry, the exact question was what again?
So my question was, how is it, if this is your first time being an author in a book that's going to be published, how is it for you as far as the experience, like from the beginning? And I'm actually truly asking this as a feedback, because I always want to continuously improve. I don't just see you guys as like, oh, customer or friends, this. I wanted to sustain that friendship and provide more, because we always want to level up, no matter if it's personal growth or not. And for me, I take my challenge very seriously. When it comes to publishing, I really want to publish a really amazing storybook, but I also want, I've been in projects where it's so stressful. Like, I wanted to quit in the middle of it, right? It's just negative feedback and you not doing this right. And that I can't work in that. And my brain like shut down and I'm literally gone, right? And I've worked in anthologies like that, and I don't want that for any of you guys. But however, I know myself, I can get bossy. And so I need to like make sure I'm thinking straight when it comes to that, because at the end of the day, I don't want to ruin friendship for the sake of, oh, I want to have this perfect, because I also have a perfectionist personality. So that's why Susanna and I balance out. I'm like, am I out of line? Tell me. Tell me to F off, Susanna, right now if I'm out of line, I give you permission. And she's like, no, you're fine. And so we have that relationship, and I want to have that relationship with you guys when we collaborate. So my question to you is, how is the experience so far? If you were to do it again, what would you change if this is your first time doing a project of a book?
I would just give a bit more time during the meeting with everybody that we had that one Saturday. The breakout rooms, I would give more time to, because all three of us didn't have time to read to one another. But instead then decided to, just read the file itself and provide advice later on. But besides for that, I think that the setup has been in a way where everybody's welcoming of reviewing one another's chapters if asked, and just it. I agree with how the feedback has uh, just been positive or constructive, but definitely nothing negative, as we have so many like-minded people in a way, considering it's all the same theme, even if our experiences have been different from one another's. And empathy sure shows in everybody I have worked with so far. So.
And it's been great working with everybody. With you, I don't remember how much I did to yours. What I really remember with yours was I sent you back the edit, and within a few hours, you had sent it back. Okay, so we have this wide variety. I like I said, I like the diversity in the group. I also like, because one of you had just alluded to this, how some of the authors just got together on their own after we had done the reading that one weekend. During the next week, they got together on their own and had their own mini sessions of reading, reviewing, exchanging, and working on it. It's a whoever could make it, and it was great seeing all those connections being made in many different ways amongst this group. And
Definitely a true team project, and so thankful to have met all of you.
oh, it's been
I'm
great meeting
grateful.
all of you. And
Yeah, and I've been grateful so much. Like I was reading and I was trying to see, and I was trying to bounce ideas with Susanna. I was like, sis, there's no way I could have made it. She's like, no, I don't think I can either. I'm like, they're so strong. They don't even know how strong they are. Right. But speaking of homework, what are your thoughts about yesterday? I know Stephen was here, and vitamin D. Yes, yes, Stephen. And omega-3, actually, you said. I
Yeah.
should pay attention, huh? With depression, I probably need that soon. A lot of it. Is it 1,000 IU or 2,000 IU? Maybe I have to we have a pharmacist here, so she can tell us for sure. But how's the homework? Yes. What are your thoughts? Like, I really want to know. After you're like, I'm the only one. I might not have a business. I'm like, yeah, you do. You have a business to inspire people. What are your thoughts in that? What's the things that come up?
Well, I mean, separate from the office job, I have done a number of things outside of work. So, been on the associate board for nonprofits that fight homelessness in New York City. I had been trying to get onto one that helps those in foster care, but then I didn't hear back. So, kind of working towards finding one of those. And me- another way of meeting like-minded people. Actually ran into somebody from my previous one at a climate tech related event. So I'm like, what are the odds? And But I don't know. I mean, a lot of things change from day to day based on who I meet. I had said on my personal chat from boxes to butterflies with Susannah that I hadn't met anybody before who had gone through severe uh, brain neurosurgery. And then later that night at a climate-related networking event, I met somebody who had had brain surgery the same year as me and was about my age. I'm like, what are the odds of this? And then earlier today in another room, the host was saying about how this weekend her daughter is having brain surgery, and now it's just coming up everywhere for me. So I kind of go with the flow and see what comes up, because usually that's leading me in the right direction. When I follow the signs that are guiding me, I yeah, really think, it doesn't have to be clear this second, but just starting to focus my mind in different areas on what I want to get accomplish most in this life is a way to start.
Yeah, if you ever need support, you have us, all the Beyond Boundaries, right? You do know you can count on us. And every single person who actually are in this project, literally, Stephen and I actually talked on the phone before he jumped into this project. And he's like, hey, this is my story. What do you think? Because I really wanted to know if you, I don't want to be saying I'm exclusive only, but I also wanted to make sure that it's a lot of commitment, right, to be on a project. And I've been letting people in on a project before that they're a big piece of the project, but they back out last minute because it's not a priority, and it messes up the whole vibe and energy, right? And so I really wanted people who are committed, not just for the people here, but also to themselves. Because when you say yes to the project, you're saying yes to you and to the rest of the people you don't even know, right? And so I really am so glad that you did that. And Stephen and I did have a conversation before he came in, because the thing was close. Like it was really close. Like, and I'm like, oh, but the story would really inspire people. And so that's literally what I'm looking for, is inspiration, because we're going through so much right now, guys. I mean, the world is just going bonkers, right? All the things that's happening around us, even in our community, is that at least I want to have part of our life where it's not super negative all the time. It's always this positivity, even though we have a hump right now. But you guys are so supportive. You're like, it's fine, it's fine. I don't know, in my head, it's not fine, because it's my perfectionist self. And for
Right.
you guys to say yes to this project, Susannah literally texted me, it's okay, it's okay. I'm like, she's like, breathe. I'm like, okay, okay. But it's that type of friendship that we have, that you can tell people, like, I know how she's gonna act. She's gonna probably go drive through from whatever's right now because she's so stressed. And that support that you guys give, even if it's an emoji, makes a huge difference to some people. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, another important thing to me was as co-chair at work, at least in the US, of the neurodiversity group that falls under the disabilities employee resource group. One of the first things that we did was set up a support group, because how is anybody going to want to start being involved in initiatives to broaden, the employment of those who are neurodivergent before dealing with whatever, you know, uh, whatever kind of struggles they may be going through, inaccessibilities, etc. So, yeah, just always having people to rely on and know you're not going to be judged by, no matter what you say, is always a great feeling.
Exactly. And before we, as we get going here, Dr. New is here. And I'm going to let CJ say the question again, just to make sure that it's there. Because
I got you. I got you.
You
Dr.
got it.
New, I hope heard the question before, but it really is because she's been on a lot of books as well on an anthology similar to kind of ours, right? And so I wanted to see, what do you see like the during, like before the book started, during the book started, and now after the book is, you know, kind of supposedly be published by now. But in that journey, what comes up for you that's somewhat different and somewhat similar?
So, thank you for first is having the space for all of us, Susanna, CJ, and it's good to see you, Steve, Jenny, and Jess, and all those who are listening to us now live, joining us, and all the replays. And it's really my honor, and I'm so grateful and blessed to be here and to really share my perspective, right, on our own journey through this process. And it's really a lovely true collaborations from the beginning to the end, and it was meant to be, meaning the people that was meant to be in the project, it aligned, even though we're different as in different industry, right, different backgrounds, we're not all alike, meaning we have specific passions that we have that we want to put a voice in and kind of elevate that voice for the people who are not seen and heard and being valued. But the common thread of all of it is that through all the adversity and all the things that we come through, we not only ourselves has overcome, but now joining in with a bigger collaborations that are beyond ourselves, a bigger collaboration higher than ourselves for a higher purpose. That's what I see, right? As a collective force that are much higher, because we have this drive that are more than just for ourselves, not only for to thrive for ourselves and our family, but also to help others along the way, massively making that bigger impact globally. And I think that's where the common thread of alignment, true alignment on this anthology is, that all hands on deck, right? And that is what I think the difference in others anthology collaboration, it could be a niche, whether it's a healthcare space, if it's a cancer, if it's a rat awake, I've been a part of, or other in the healing space. But this has really phenomenal stories of all amazing individual, right, leaders of their own, not only lives, they led their own experiences, and then to overcome all that is a lesson learned, that when people read books and stories, they crave for those wisdom, right? They crave for, how do people get over that, what are the lessons? So when people want to pick brains on the people who have gone there, done that, what is it like, right? And how is it before and after, and how that person is now who they are. And I think that is what the beauty of this project, and I truly see not only come to life, but also ongoing collaboration, right? Because of true alignment, and people who truly see collaboration, not competition, not saying, even though you and I might do the same, but we all look differently, we all gonna carry a different method, right? And very, very, I see it truly. And sometimes I feel bad, like this week I was out, I say, oh my goodness, I'm not able to support all my brothers and sisters, but hopefully they know that when I'm here, I put my full forth, and that I don't ever put anything less of. And so those are the things that people know my heart. And so I cherish each and every one of you and every part of your soul. So that is what I think for us, is that we embrace each other, we celebrate each other, and we're going to cheer and support each other on. And that is a true of what I think, beyond that surface and beyond that cover, when we talk about the book, right? This is a true collaboration in a deep meeting. Like when you say people go beyond that, just have to meet on a Zoom, but now people go and meet in different individual, right? One-on-one. So there's power to it. It's just when the time is right, like Jess, go with the flow. Everything will work out because I know that you have everything there, but bits and pieces are going to come together, you know? And so that is where things will fall into places. Sometimes people gone there, done that, they understand, they see it. But when you haven't, just trust the process and the people will guide and tell you where to go. And that is where kind of stay tuned to your intuition, right, Steve?
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, right? And
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I love it. You know, when you say flow, I always think flow would be Willie J because that's his thing. In any book collaboration that we do, go with the flow, sis. Go with the flow. I'm a structured person, okay, and I have ADHD, and I have a pleasing personality. Like I have so much issues. It's not funny, but for me to be patient is really hard, guys. Like, you know, and this one has literally put me in my place, even to the last minute right now, put me on my place. So what that tells me, CJ, be patient. I know you got a timeline, but life sometimes takes a literally wrong turn. And so I had to take a breathing exercise a lot yesterday. I was walking in the, I'm like, is there any other woods? I wish I was in the woods with Susannah right now. Because birds and trees, like willow trees, calms me down. And like traffic, it stresses me out. My daughter in the morning stresses me out. She doesn't go out and it's like, oh my God, I gotta get her to school. But like my dogs watching me, looking at me, like little things like that, and trees, and just like listening to the birds, me drinking my coffee, it calms me down. But I had so much breathing exercises yesterday. And just to see you guys, like, I'm always trying to be transparent of what's happening because I want you guys to know that I really truly value your time and effort that you put into it. And more than anything, for giving me your heart and your time and your like trust, you know, like trust the process. I don't trust CJ at this point, you know. So that was, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about that. They already are committed. It's not even my fault. And I always tell my students, stop controlling the uncontrollables. And so I had to think about that for myself. I'm like, okay, I gotta apply that. Like I really gotta apply that. It's out of my control. I can't stop the process. It's their control. And so I had to take a deep breath. I'm like, and I usually, when I shut down, I don't even call Susannah. I don't call anybody when I shut down. I just be quiet because I'm brooding on my own pity party city here. And then I'm like, okay, stop. It's done. You graduated the pity party. Let's move on to the next, right? Oh, Russ is here. Hi, Russ.
Russ is here.
Wow,
I
I'm on already.
know.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you a question because I know we're running out of time. Okay.
You're
So the
quick. You
question
make it
is,
happen.
no, you've been on books with me too, right out of the way, you know, to my family. So what comes up for you with this book, the differences that you've seen from the beginning, during, and after?
Well, I'm just excited to see the outcome coming out of everybody because so many amazing, amazing people that are in this whole collaboration, and I just think what's amazing is from one to the next to the next. You know, I've been blessed as many of you. I've done 4 in the last like 8 months, and it gets better every time. So I think this process, and you know, I got to be honest, CJ, you and Susannah, I mean, you guys have really done the heavy lifting and made it easy on us because, I mean, you know, some people may think writing's hard and maybe parts of it are, but all the other stuff that goes with it is so much. So bless you both for that and everybody else who had a part of this. But I'm just honored to be here and be part of it and be able to share a little piece of me and be able to encourage people along the way because that's what I'm all about.
You've always been that way. It's. I'm glad that it's what this is the second or third book with you.
Yep. I think it's the third with the two of us. Yeah.
Third. Yeah. Well, and then with CJ too, because
Right.
CJ's been on every book that I've done as an anthology except for one. So I've only got her beat by one. And if we keep this going, we'll be in the same books from now on. So
Yeah, there you go. Well, the only thing I've done outside of this amazing group is the Perspectives on Cancer with Tim Sohn. That's coming out, and I have a chapter in that book, volume 2 of his book. And great group. You know, I mean, obviously, cancer is near and dear to my heart for obvious reasons. So, yeah. Anyway, it's just been just been amazing because, I'm all about connection and community building, and I couldn't think of a more amazing community to be involved in than all of you.
Aw, that's so nice. Oh, did you hear? We're gonna have, because I know you and Susannah are in the same state. Sometime in June, that's the manifestation coming out. We will be at Barnes and Nobles with this book, so you can do book signing.
Oh, very cool. That will be awesome. So you're going to be at Barnes and Noble here in Oregon?
Well, it'll be
No,
available
you might be
at
able
all
to
of
do
them.
it your way. Yeah,
But
Yeah.
as it is, she's already manifesting to get as many people as she can into San Diego for a book
that's right.
signing.
Just for the weekend. It's like a Saturday, but I have Jacqueline is in our team. Her son-in-law actually works for Barnes and Noble. So technically, yesterday we got approved without even an ISBN. So they're like, "What's your ISBN? Let's do the event." And she's like, "Whoa, hold your horses. We don't even have a Kindle yet." But so we're already approved to go to Barnes and Nobles locally here in Escondido. There's one in Rancho Bernardo. There's like 3 or 4 here in San Diego. So I'm
Wow.
trying to get as many West Coast people in the Barnes and Nobles and have our signature in that book, right? Can you
Yeah.
imagine like even just 5, 10 people in that book in one signature? I'm like, woohoo. So
Uh,
that's what I want to do. This is the only anthology I know that I have done so far, or any of my friends that has a book signing at Barnes and Nobles. This will be the very first one. And it's not
That's
easy, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, Barnes and Noble is one of the few big bookstores that's still out there. My
Right.
beautiful wife and I the other day were in the Barnes and Noble in Bridgeport, and Suzanne will know where that is in Tigard, and they have a
Not
huge
far
big
from me.
store there. Really nice, yeah.
Well, Barnes and Noble, but then see, if we get it in Barnes and Noble, that also means we get it into Powell's.
Pals would be awesome. Pals would be,
And
yeah,
so
incredible.
it's, I
Yeah.
mean, you can say Barnes and Noble, but really the goal is if it can go into Barnes and Noble, it can go into any bookstore.
Right.
So
That's
yeah,
really
that's
Yep.
our
what it
goal
comes
is
down to.
to hit Amazon plus all of the other bookstores that you would never probably would have if you just stick in Amazon. So that's what I'm saying. Every single
Yeah.
part of Level Up, we're leveling up from publishing to books to TV to radio. We're leveling it up. But I can't do it alone. That's why you guys are here to collaborate. And I'm loving that we can do it. And some of you guys, even including myself, I said, I wish I did do book signing in Barnes and Nobles. And then Susannah and I were toying about this for what, months now? Like,
We have
right?
been, we
Yeah.
have
And I'm
been
like,
once.
yeah. And I said, you know what? Stop toying. Just do it, CJ. Just do it. I don't know what it takes, but you're gonna do it. So now we're almost there, trying to.
CJ, you make my head spin. I think I move 100 miles an hour till I talk to you. It's like, it's so much fun. My first book that came out, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, I did get out into bookstores local, into some Christian bookstores in the area and different things up through Southwest Washington, down into Oregon. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to get out and do book signings and be around the people with your book in hand. And so that'll be really cool.
Well, and that's going to become one of the things we're looking at doing for whoever the authors are, because I'm going to do one of the books we're going to do it with is we're going to do it with mine. So I'll basically pull them off of Amazon so I can go through the process to get them and basically re-release them, republish them, so
Mhm.
that if I could do a book signing with 3 different books if I wanted to, whatever books are in 4 actually. With this one, that would make 4 because I have 3 solos.
You'll be at 10 by the
Yeah,
time you get this done, Susanna.
Well,
that's
this
right.
one's
That's our
number
goal.
8. This is
That's
book
our
8,
goal.
and we already have number 9. Number 9 is about ready to get slated to come out. So,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
then if
I
Crazy.
mean,
I've got a solo one that I want to make number 10.
right. And then neurodivergent is something that I want to write with Danielle. So if you guys have any, that's something that I want to do. An anthology is neurodivergence and the experiences that you have and the pros and cons and what we can do. Because people just think, one of my girlfriends says, "Can I buy your ADHD?" I'm like, you wish. Right now it's hard, it's not easy. There's so many things in my life that are falling apart because I have ADHD. Just seems like it's perfect in the front, but in the back end it's like falling apart, like earthquake everywhere, tsunami. Right. And so I want to bring light, like how is it like to live with ADHD, really, and how we can do that, because we need to be able to talk about it. It's not easy. It's not. You only see the positive side because we talk about the positive side, but we never talk about
Right.
the negative. It's so shameful and all this. But I'm still toying with that because I'm still having that fear right there to talk about it. So I'm toying with the idea. But usually when I have idea, I'll run with it. So
Ah,
Stephen, I know you have your
I
raised hand.
was gonna say, yeah, I'm in there with you because I didn't even realize I was ADHD. I took a test. I was 19 out of 20. I said severe level, and then I brought it up to my group, and they just kind of laughed. They go, "You didn't know that?" It's like everybody else knows, and but you're right, because you have all these unfinished projects. There's a million things going on, and I remember when people said they'd like to be like Elon Musk, and he goes, "You don't know what it's like in my mind." Right? There's just a constant war going on, and so many ideas and so many different things. So he's done a lot, and I think it's that channeled superpower, right? Because ADHD is a superpower, but if it's not channeled, it will just wear you out, and everybody
It's
else.
the hyper. Yeah. And I didn't even know, because I had 5 psychiatrists actually. I asked about that. I'm like, do I have, all of them said, no, you got 4 degrees. You're going to your 5th one. You're fine. I'm like, there's definitely something wrong. And then I had a lady who specializes it for 20 years. And she's like, okay, we're going to do this and this and this. She's like, yeah, you do have it. Let's go ahead and see what we can do to kind of improve that. I'm like, good luck. I've been trying, but please help me. And so yeah, it is. It's kind of funny that everyone else knows what's happening with you and you don't. And so when I joke around with Susannah, because I have 5 names, like literally I was given 5 names at birth. And I'm like, Susannah, I don't know if Jeff is coming out, because my middle name is Jeffer, and or James, because that's also my middle name. Or is it CJ or Constance is coming? I don't know. It's just whatever comes out, just good luck with it, you know? And then Susannah just laughed. But it is, level up is going to level up as much as we can. If you guys have any ideas or anything like that that you want to bring and said, hey CJ, what about this idea, let me know. I like to tinker things and go beyond boundaries of societals, like boxes, right? Move beyond boxes with Susannah on really what we need to do to improve, and stop focusing on everything else that's negative, because you're going to wallow on it. I had a pity party yesterday. I graduated that today. So just
yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'd be happy to join the other book as well, growing up with autism and epilepsy, and realizing that although my personality changed afterwards, I still kind of show signs of being on the spectrum. So happy to partake.
I saw you raise your hand.
And I think,
Well,
go
I'm
ahead.
telling y'all, I have to jump, but I wanted to say that you all are just amazing. Thank you for letting me jump in for a little bit of time. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more collaborations in the future. So you guys have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you in the bookstores, I guess, huh?
Well, and you enjoy the sunshine, because we get sunshine this weekend.
Amen. That's
I'm
right.
looking at it right now.
Yes, I just came in from the sunshine. It was fabulous. So, yes, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see y'all later.
Good
Take care,
seeing you,
Rob.
Russ. Bye. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.
So yeah, and we're getting up towards the end. So I really want everybody to kind of take a minute or two and just give your final thoughts about how the project was, and if there's anything that you would love to see come down the pike. We'll start with Dr. New.
And sis, on down the pipe, as in coming from the collaboration, or you mean something that we wish?
From the collaboration, or something that you would love to do.
So from this, I see that not only leveling up globally with different programs, not only of what already ongoing, but what I can see is that we collectively collaborate and enhance and empower, inspire, and be able to lower the entry for people around the world to not only get access to know how to deal with life challenges, emotional, activation triggers that are ongoing every day of our life, and it will happen from birth to the day we take our last breath. And I think we collectively have so many people here that can also help and bring value to be able to help someone go through that, navigate that life journey. And I think that is something I truly see that will come to life. And with this, I just so happy to see so many things, and that if we don't really pay notice and pay attention to all the good things that come to life and around us and take the blessing and gratitude, we're going to miss the small things. And they're not small, they're the biggest blessing to us. And I am grateful, appreciate, and beyond blessed and honored to be here with each and everyone. Susannah, CJ, and all the amazing co-authors that couldn't join us, along with Jess and Steve. Many things are good and will come together to elevate the world, to help others massively make an impact. And that's what I see. So trust the process. Don't be so controlling, because some things will come when the time is right. So that is what I see. And so thank you so much. Love you all.
Thank you. Thank you. How about you, Jess?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the project. Thought it was, I had a little trouble at first starting out, but then once I, went with it, I ended up going way over on words. So ended up just kind of being a narrative of how um, the challenge I went into, and then how it finally changed for me, and then kind of put in a summary of what I've done since, but a lot more to talk about. And I just love all of the people who I've met, who we can continue to support each other, and by reading each other's stories, even if people we know haven't read the book, we can always have all of these various examples to now refer to when trying to help out others. So it just only helps more.
Awesome. And Stephen.
So, as far as other things that we might consider, it's all the simplicity of the things that we've gone through in life. And, a couple of these ideas are not only like the neurodivergence and growing past that, but mental wellness. Loneliness is they call it the new epidemic, in the country. And it's this idea that for some reason we're separating. And I like to be a force for good, because I do believe that, you've got the good and then you have the other, and it's where we place our focus is what grows. So, the things that we can really connect around, and it's the things that we're all trying to help people with. It's this community, it's the connection, it's what we created here. So it's kind of defining what it is that we've created, and then teaching others how to do this in the process. And wouldn't it be great if people could take this locally, right? It's like the whole idea, like kindness. You see posts that come up. How do we make a kinder world? How do we have people more connected? And I think a lot of this just goes into seeing people and respecting and honoring them, right? With an empathic way of hearing them, right? We're not judging them. We're not seeing what's different. We're finding out how we are the same. And at the core level, we are all the same. I've got a global community, and when you talk to people and get beyond their nationality, their country, their culture, their religion, whatever it is that they define themselves, there's this need for connection, There's this need for significance, this need for contribution, and this need for a little bit of legacy. And if we can tap into that, we can do something great. So it's wonderful. So I would be on board for any one of those projects. I love mental wellness.
Well, and sis, you're up.
Sorry, good thing you put me last because my bulldogs were like, "Wah." All sounds like a zombie in my house right now. Um,
But she's so cute.
I know I can't be grateful enough. Honestly, I don't even think that I was trying to look for a word to say being grateful because you know sometimes you have an idea of the project and you have like this objectives in your head and the outcome is just more than what you actually imagine. Yeah, I'm so grateful. I want to cry. But I learned so much from everybody's stories and I'm selfish for even reading everyone's stories. But yeah, I was so touched by the commitment, the amount of time, the amount of edits went back and forth. And I'm grateful for you, sister, for being patient with me when sometimes it just goes down. But I'm grateful for everyone making a commitment and being patient because when you have a goal and you have a mission in mind and you don't know what's going to come out of it, and my heart is so full just seeing people changing their lives slowly but surely, and compassion keeps coming out. And I really hope that when you are in your local whatever and you're going through things, that you are compassionate with yourself because it takes a lot for people to be compassionate and truly mean it with actions, not just words. And whatever you're going through, you're not alone. We're here. We meant it. And moving forward, as far as projects, there's a lot. Dr. New and I have a show this Sunday, plugging in now for Level Up. We're actually going to do skincare. If you guys don't know, I'm approaching 50, somewhere in there. We're going to do skincare on anything in your household. We're talking sugar and coffee and olive oil and all that. We're going to show you. I'm going to be showing myself naked without makeup. Oh my gosh, I'm actually nervous about that. But we're going to do that on Sunday and show you how to get pigmentations and things like that. Because, you know, we live in a society of consumerism. We spend a lot of money on skincare and products and all that. And I am so scared of injections, but I'm not going to be scared if I start sagging. I'm like, okay, Botox, please. I'm just going to close my eyes. Right now, I don't need it yet, but when I do, I'm going to say I will do it. But right now, we just do skincare, a little bit of skincare. That's what we're going to do on Sunday. And then on Tuesday, she has a class. She's going to take mindfulness because it doesn't matter how much you really have if you are not right in here. You could have this much heart. If you're not right in here, nothing happens in your life. Nothing. Everything's going to fall apart. And Dr. Nu's going to align us on Tuesday. So go ahead and sign up for that class for sure. It does have limited seats. So hopefully to see you guys then. I'm going to stop now because I'm going to start.
Well, we have so much more going on, sis. And we've talked about some of the book projects coming up. I'll have a storyteller class coming up soon. So it's going to be a lot. And just the biggest thing has been the last 6 weeks, because it really has been only just over 6 weeks, like 6 weeks and a day because of leap year, that we went from starting this, not counting the promo stuff. The minute we started was the 1st of February. 6 weeks later, in less than 6 weeks, we had an amazing collection of stories. And quite frankly, what I love about these anthologies as well, with this, the anthology is a story all its own, because each chapter may be an individual story, but from the beginning to the end, the chapters were put in to also create a story. And I don't know where I've ever seen an anthology that way. Oftentimes it's alphabetical, or first one in is the first one in the book kind of deal. But that's not the way we do this, and that's why these anthologies, they really do have a life, and that life is because of everybody that's involved in it. This book has 27 souls, and think of how big of a soul that book has, because it has these 27 souls. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's next, and how we take things to the next level and the next, and bring everybody with us. So with that, because we're like 11 minutes past the hour, thank you so much, everybody, for being here on the show. And thank you for everybody who has watched the show. Ollie's been watching the show as he travels through France. So it's beautiful, because we basically have this family in so many ways, and it just keeps growing. And we'll see how far it grows with the next book and the next book.
Anthology next is Susannah's, by the way, guys. So keep that in mind. We're still going to be the same theme. It's just that we're having to lead with each other and to see what comes up. But for me, next time probably is definitely mental wellness. That's something that I really want to focus on to help others. Is a lot, right?
Well, and for me, it's taking this book to the next step of move beyond the boxes. So it's gonna be fun. So thank you, everybody. And with that, I will say goodbye.
Love you all.
Bye.